Om Shri Sairam, welcome to Quantum Ascension.
Sairam.
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 Sairam. Today is the third day of the Mayan calendar. And I like to remind all that the Mayan calendar is an etheric calendar. It's a calendar which involves the etheric space. Is someone controlling the sound system? Okay. All right. So the Mayan calendar tells a lot about what happens in the etheric space, and these are a whole civilization, the Mayans, which dedicate their life into the studies and the documentation of the etheric space, and they have managed to capture most of what happens in the etheric space and to compile it into treasures, which many of us discovered about it lately. The Mayan calendar became very famous in 2012. Right before that, about a year or two, many people start looking at the Mayan calendar because it's pointing at a date which they were approaching at that time. And it became more and more intense because as they observed the calendar and they study it and they observe the phenomena that's happening, it's actually directly correlating. It's directly synchronizing as per the calendar. So this calendar is very incredible actually. It has a lot of information you can gather from just that calendar. There's a way of studying it, and they draw pictures of expressions, and these expressions are the one which tells everything. And these are so incredible. You see the power of visual. This is how powerful visuals are. From a visual of a gesture, facial impression, you are able to extract the entire energy of what that face is telling. And of course it involves many times, other animals also, but the facial expressions are the one which are very, a lot of information is inside. So today being the third day, and it'd be nice if we are all able to monitor this also, what the Mayan calendar is telling. So one of the things that the Mayan calendar is telling is that this year is incredible. This year is the year where there are lots of higher energies. Lots of higher energies that is going to be manifesting on Earth. Many people are already catching these messages and downloads and energies, and they are expressing it in terms of writings, expressing in terms of activities, songs, dance. Yes, those who are very in tune to dancing, you might all of a sudden this past 3 days feel like your dancing potential have increased many folds. And those of you who like to create music, you would find that there is a shift in the type of music you're open to now. Those who like to write, you might find that all of a sudden you are writing about something which you never wrote before. It's a new dimension open. Those who like to see, For example, they like sceneries. They like, you know, to see the pictures. All of a sudden, when you're looking at scenery, you might start seeing other parts of the sceneries which you never realized that is there. It start opening up to you. For example, those who are seeing the clouds and you can see shapes in the clouds, and somehow the clouds are sending you messages. And the clouds are also, even the skies, you know, you could see that there are messages coming through. So these are all potentials, our potentials. And our potentials has increased many, many folds. And it's also, this unfoldment of potentials are also synchronized to a lot of other things. One is the calendar, another thing is the flow of event that's been happening in your life. For example, you are learning about this quantum ascension, and then you know about it, and there are tools being given to you where you can assist yourself in increasing your potential. By the way, when Dr. Tomislav came into our sessions and did those assess consciousness upon the entire monad, he was also opening the unlimited potentials of all of us at that time. And now it's also happening. So these are part of the physical unfoldments that's happening. You know, we attend the session and they actually verbalize. These are considered physical. These are considered manifested. So he verbalized the entire process and actually mentioned quite a few times that, you know, we are all now ready for unlimited potential. And of course, our own meditation, our own yoga, where we connect to the higher self and the God consciousness and I am that I am consciousness. And this has incredibly expanded our consciousness to a potential where we can manifest almost anything. And coincidentally, these are all documented in the Mayan calendar. So which one came first? Is it the Mayan calendar came first, or this energy came first, or this entire plan of the cosmos already there? We are just playing it out. You know, after a while, you just don't know who is who because all is one. The unfoldment of the universe, our synchronicity, our awakening, the shift of the collective conscious, all synchronized, is coming together. This is called integration. Yeah, we are all integrating into the one. And this one is an incredible one. Okay, so now, are all of you ready for unlimited potential?
Yes.
Yes.
Of
Yes.
course.
Wow. Okay. Great. 3 years is good enough. Huh? That is already seconded and third. Good. Now, since 3 have verbalized on behalf of the entire monad, I will take it as the monad saying it. Now, unlimited potential. Unlimited potential means what? That means you can create anything you want. And that itself is an illusion, because what we are supposed to create is already created. It's just for us to wake up and realize that this is what we created. That's the only thing that's left here now. It's already created. But we didn't know that this is what we created. Okay? All right. I'm going to walk you through all of this. Now, you have to first believe that you are having this unlimited potential. You need to believe it because so that it's not that you need to believe it for it to happen. It's so that your mind is able to comprehend this phenomena much at ease and with clarity. Otherwise, it's just not so clear, and it is there and it's not there, you know, and it's don't know whether it's there or not, you know, that kind of thing is there. So, no, unlimited potential. I would say the earth have been creating this world, which I'm going to tell you about, for the longest time. And I believe that they won't create all this unless there are some signs that before it is true that all this happened. And I'm going to tell you about the dragons. The dragons have been there the longest time. They have been, you know, there is a conspiracy about this. Yeah? The conspiracy is not about the dragons. The conspiracy is about dinosaurs. You know, scientists and a lot of people have accepted that there was the presence of dinosaur on Earth, and they have even got their bones and structure and their name and the deep study into it. So the dinosaurs are all there. What's the conspiracy? The conspiracy is the dinosaurs are actually the lower beings. There are the higher beings also there, which are actually the dragons. The dragons have been there since the beginning. The dinosaurs are somehow if you like, you can call them the fallen dragons, the ones that lost their wings. And this entire thing is covered up. If you like, you can say the reptilians has covered it up, because these dinosaurs are the ancestors of the reptilians. So they don't highlight the other one. But the dragons have been there all the while. They are the one that governs the space, this entire Earth's space. And these dragons have been documented and also connected to, and some people can communicate with them and able to derive blessings and guidance and help from them. And many of them continue. For the longest time, even until now, there are dragons temples outside. You know, you can see, and there are people who could speak to dragons. And now more and more information on these dragons have been documented. They are written down. Their messages are very clear. Which dragon is this? Where they came from? Who are their ancestors? What is their job? And where are they now? Why they're coming out now? And what the earth is going through? And their part of playing, the role they're going to play in this earth. So there are more and more of these informations, and I just want you all to know that the presence of the dragon is already here. That's why last week a lot of people managed to capture in the skies shapes of dragons, clouds that very obviously shows the dragon's body, the dragon's head, the dragon's movements, the dragon's emotions. And some of you can even, you know, on the Lionsgate portal opened at the time, you guys saw the dragons yourself. Okay? Now, these are just the beginning. You are just getting introduced to the dragons now. Okay? All right. Let's go to the next step. Well, maybe I can share with you first what happened on that night. Day out of time. What happened at that time? On the day out of time is when a lot of people release those energies or emotions or habits which they feel no longer serves them in the next calendar cycle. So there is massive unloading that happen on day of time and day of no time, right? That is when, you know, whatever you release won't come back to you actually, because that space, it's not controlled by time. It's the day out of time. So this because there's no time at that space, whatever you drop, it will drop forever. It won't stop dropping because there's no gravity. Okay, we are talking about the etheric space. Okay, now the first day, okay, that night, the day out of time, we got into was it the Psycraft? Did we enter into the Psycraft? I think we were brought up. Yes, the entire platform, the Quantum Ascension platform, turned into a craft, and it shifted and tilted, and it went straight up to the central sun. Okay, now the central sun. The central sun, which has illuminated, is none other than Sirius. Sirius' central sun is illuminated. And on that night, the Lion's Gate portal was open, and the pyramid of Giza was activated, and we managed to ride up the rays from the pyramid towards the central sun, which is Sirius. And we managed to do that. All of us managed to rise. As we were rising, there was 2 dragons in front leading the way. Okay, now this is the part which requires more imagination, and I feel that this is time for you all to create this, not create actually, to be aware of this reality. I was on one of the dragons, and we were heading towards the central sun, and there is another buddy of mine who is riding on the other dragon. And this have been shown to us quite some time back. This has been, I think, easily 6-7 months ago. We have already was riding the dragons, and we have saw ourselves doing this, that we will be doing something with the dragons as a mission. So we were going towards Sirius, yeah, and all of us reached Sirius. And of course, if you all were there, Adi Parashakti, Divine Mother, came and she took over. She took over the entire session, and she was speaking to you all directly through the audio meditation. It's good for you guys to listen to the audio meditation again, because it's a really incredible meditation which, you know, points directly to your highest potential. And once it was taken over in that audio meditation, and all of you were in tune with that, and all of a sudden I turn around and I can't see my friend. Where's the other dragon? So I went down and I went to look for the dragon, and of course my dragon knows where the other dragon is, because, you know, they operate in that space and is totally aware of this kind of phenomena. And so we dive right in, and we ended up in a prison. And this prison, it's very dark, and there are people who are in incredible danger inside there, and somehow, of course, it's not coincidental that the dragon was ended up there, because there's something we need to do. So we managed to take out some people, and also at the same time rise the dragon. And the next thing we found out is another prison, which is of a higher dimension, and it's the same energy, but this is involving, um, I might as well tell you guys all of this, because you're unlimited potential, so you can actually connect to this space, because this space is happening. These are children that has been captured. There are many children who have extraterrestrial abilities, who have able to connect to higher civilizations on the space, are captured. And when they are captured, why are they captured? Because those people those beings who captured them, use these children to connect, to escape actually, to escape to another dimension, because it's through these children that they're able to connect. Otherwise, they themselves cannot connect. They don't have the ability, but these children do. So that was too many. There's too many beings involved in that. So at that time, I felt, of course, we being monad, and those who are sensitive to the monad, especially like a few of you here, and also Sister Vladka, they sense that something is happening, and they feel the urgency, they felt the anxiety, they felt the need to go into action, but they don't know what action, and they need some kind of light to come in so that they know what to do. So one of them reached out to me and says that, do you need help? Well, actually, might as well I say it out now, because we are in the age of etheric space already. So I want you all to know also who has been involved in this, and to really recognize that we are doing this together. Our brother Martin, he is the one who connected to me, and he says, you need help. Do you need help? And I said, not at the moment, because, there are too many of them. They're all captured. We can't do anything at this point. And Brother Martin, he's a warrior. He immediately, jumped in and says that, I'm in. I want to be part of this. And I see it as a manifestation of the entire monad. I told him, said, okay, inform Sister Vladka. They have been exposed. I see them, and just inform her. And Sister Vladka, being all intuitive and all fast as a warrior, she summoned 100 crafts, Asta command. So all the 100 crafts went around the earth and went to all these locations where these kids have been captured. Yeah, there's a lot of them, and I want you all to know also that these kids are none other than the autistic kids. These autistic kids are they can communicate with extraterrestrial. They are just here to maintain a certain frequency, and they have a role to play in this unfoldment of the entire earth. And these autistic kids are the one which is waiting for activation. And so these crafts managed to penetrate a lot of light into all the autistic kids' captured space. And with that light, they raised themselves in consciousness, and also Mother Gaia came in. Mother Gaia, Divine Feminine, came in and raised the energy. And she was really doing it. She was doing it as if, you know, her love for these children is so incredible because it's hers. It is these children who came from another space to come on earth to help her raise. So for her, it is as good as their children, her children coming back onto the earth. And for her, this is, you know, just like a mother who is so concerned about the children. She reached out to all of them. So a lot of their energies were raised up high, and with enough light, they themselves start connecting to the central sun. So that on the first day itself was incredible rise of energy that has happened, and it's almost coming as a broadcast to the universe kind of energy, yeah? Because all of them started beaming up. And of course, this is not coincidental at all, because the pyramids, that's the role of the pyramid. The role of the pyramid is to come to a point in time where their activation will point directly at the constellation of the universe where the central sun is, Sirius, and then and the rest of the celestial bodies. So if you were to research on the pyramids of Giza, you will see that these are the inner works of the pyramid, alignment to the cosmic stars. Yeah. So the dragons have been playing active role in this entire unfoldment. Okay, so this is one unfoldment which all of you have a part to play. So you're already directly involved. Your close encounter with dragons. Okay, this is one of it. All right. Okay, I can shift and share with you also other stories where our contact with the dragons. These two dragons that we are flying, they were actually from Borneo. Okay, we came in contact with these two dragons. They were kind of left dormant at one hill, which, let me see, Brother Gan is here. Yes, Brother Gan, he knows this story, entire story. Well, Brother Gan, would you like to share this story, how these dragons were discovered? I know, I don't
Can you
mean
share better?
Yes, can you share how these dragons were discovered?
Oh, this dragon. They are the ancient dragon. It mentioned 800,000 years from the mainland China. They come to Borneo. Yeah, so the place they take care now is the area Borneo. I don't know how big the space. So it like story that it appears to us when we are doing the ashram at the Bau. Yeah, through the natives, the dragon talks through this medium. I think give a dream to this, we say auntie, native auntie. Then he searched for 1 year, can't find the dragon temple. So one day in evening, I saw a group of people came to the hill, search for the ancient temple. Then that lady witnessed one tree, very big trees. Then he know that's the dream the dragon give to her. So the entire story came to me that these two dragons exist very long here, and they have their mission. They are they are, I can say, is full awareness on the human needs. And this is the time, I think, our awareness resonates with them. Then they are coming to help us as part of the role on this earth. Yeah, something like this, Julius. Yeah.
Yes, how about the temple shifting of the temple?
You mean the temporary temple now?
Yes, how they got shifted over.
Oh, actually, that land, previously they have do a small one. It's belong to other people land. Then the dragon induced that lady, that native lady, to build a better temple, but somehow we can't manage it because it belongs to other people land. So at this moment we shift it to our ashram there. Then due to some reason, the temple is delayed too. So
Yes,
maybe,
okay.
yeah, you continue. Yeah.
Yes, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Now, before we shift, we have to consult the dragon. So we were speaking with the dragon for quite a while, both of them. And there's a lot of other factors that was involved also, which finally the shift actually happened. So 2 dragons was actually moved into an ashram land. And how that unfolded was really incredible because the dragons, you know, they've been dragons. They are very, very sensitive beings, highly etheric. So when we connect to the dragon, it's almost like 2 dimensions happening at the same time because they are of that kind of nature. So we actually managed to finally reach an agreement where they are very happy with the new place to be transferred over. And that move was so incredible because as we were moving, the dragons became so happy and activated. So when they are activated, you could see that there is some kind of shift of energy that happened. One of the things that the dragons told was that, you know, because these 2 dragons were brought to Borneo by the Chinese um, traders. They are actually looking for gold, so they invoke the dragons to come with them and to find gold in that space. So they are actually the type that could grant prosperity. So when the shift happened, the moving of the temple happened, they promised that the entire town is going to prosper uh, from the moving. And this is something very natural for them. They just like to give. So they said that there will be a lot of new developments happening. And true enough, when we moved, the entire space was booming, actually. That entire town became, you know, you see buildings coming up and businesses and people, and, you know, all of a sudden, a town which is very quiet turned into like a stopover from all directions. So you see a lot of business started happening there. And of course, Swami is involved. Swami himself, you know, he came through Madhusudan's form and initiated this thing and actually told more about these dragons, even their names and all. So, and after this event, the dragons have been, in a way, connected to us, and we sort of sometimes we get messages. Yeah? So one of the messages is they are very happy to be involved in this great unfoldment of the Leelas of Swami, and they want to participate in every way possible, this unfoldment. And this Lion's Gate portal, of course, they would not miss this chance. So they are evolved from the front. So two of them were right in front of the craft, flying. Yeah, one is a white one and one is a green one. So if you like, I can share with you the link to the page of these two dragons later. Someone just need to remind me that. And so this is, and I've managed to have quite a few experiences of riding the dragons, and I was trying to share it with as many people who are ready as possible. I remember once we have about six, seven of us who actually around me while I was riding the dragons. And we were at this balcony and where the amphitheater is, and the dragons flew, and I managed to be on top. And I tried to get all of them to feel it as much as possible. Of course, these etheric realms are not so easily seen, because it depends on our attunement. If we are used to attuning to the etheric space, then you can see it. You can see it happening. Yeah? If you're not used to connecting to etheric space, you might be able to feel it, but you can't see it. You can feel it to a point of even sometimes you start hearing some sound, and you start hearing you're feeling some movement in your body, and you feel yourself going up and going down, but you can't see. Yeah. So it all depends on what we are ready for. So at that point in time, we did that. Brother Gan, you were there. Is there anything you'd like to share at that time of that experience?
Oh, you mean the night? Few of us are there, is it?
Yes, at the balcony where we fly the dragon.
Yeah. I can feel the presence, but I can't see. Right? But the vibration of that energy is great at night. Yeah.
Yes,
But
correct.
I'm not yet new to such synchronization with that etheric space. So I can't share this experience. Okay, you share with us.
Okay. Yes. Yes, quite a few of you couldn't see it, but you felt it. Yeah. And some even heard the sound. Yeah, the sound of the wings, and they saw that we are riding towards the moon. And now, more and more, you will, when we are open to this space, you will start seeing their presence. They can manifest in the clouds. They can manifest in the form of wind. They can manifest in your dreams and all. Yeah? So these are divine dragons, very divine dragons. They are very benevolent. They are very loving, lots of things to give, but they are also very protective. Yeah? They are protective of those which they resonate with. And okay, now there are also dragons which are not so benevolent. Okay, there are those dragons who are a bit more playful and naughty. And we have also got into some kind of experience with them. And I just want to let you know that they are there. They are there in this space, and we just need to be able to be open. Yeah, be open to this phenomena, because the moment you are opening it, you are opening a dimension. It's that entire dimension that has been opened up. Yeah. All right. Okay. Anyone like to share some experiences of dragons, or that night Lion Gates portal open, and what's your experience? Yeah, you can share. Sairam.
Sairam, I want to ask something, if it's possible.
Sure, please go ahead.
Ram, thank you. I know, because I experience it, that each one of us has guardian angels, has unicorns, has elves, has fairy. Each one of us has many creatures of higher dimensions. So my question is, do we have, I have information, but I'm not sure because I didn't experience it. Do we have ours dragons too?
Okay, it depends on who you identify yourself with. If you're identifying yourself to the monad, yes, then you have. Because the monad itself already has 2 dragons in front. So dragons being also multi-dimensional beings, and dragons are very connected to their monad, they can easily manifest as a few. They can call their friends, they can call their brothers, or they themselves manifest into a few. So yes, if you identify yourself as a monad, there's a high possibility.
Thank you. And second question will be, if I want sometime to connect with dragon or dragons, is there some warning, or because you said that they are ultimately a positive or negative, or sorry, good or bad dragon, is our frequency that which
Okay, I understand your question.
Yes, okay, yes, thank you.
Okay, so now it's better for you to get used to the dragon's presence for the monad, and get used to it first, and to able to start feeling these dragons. These dragons, they are very, as I said earlier, is very sensitive beings, and their sensitivity is it's really incredible, because we can learn so much from the dragons.
I have, yes, I have many friends who are connected already with their dragons, and who brought many messages from them. But every time I heard they are speaking about dragons, I have some question in my head. Okay, why? Like something in me is opposite to my wish to meet them. So maybe there is some unconscious fear within. So I'm looking for some guidance, or for something like that.
Okay, great. Thanks for leading us in that way. This is what is needed. Okay, why? Now, first of all, we are traveling in other dimensions, and just like how we have the craft, we need a craft, and the craft, having a craft is a very good grounding to have, and we can also be comfortable riding something. Yeah, it's rather in the craft riding, or riding a dragon. And dragon is a very appropriate creature, because they are interdimensional, and they go even to the cosmic space easily. Yeah, they are very familiar with the cosmic space. And just like you going into the woods, you know, you want to have a horse, and a horse is great because he runs fast, and he's very comfortable in nature, and it's very natural, and he has very instinctive, instinctive in the forest. For example, if there's a tiger around, the horse would know somehow. Yeah. So in the same way, the dragon, if you are in a safe space, the dragon is different, and when you are in a dangerous space, the dragon is different. So it's great to have a dragon with you. Yeah. And another thing about why you having fear maybe is just like someone who has pets, right? Like a dog. Okay, and a person could tell you how great having a dog is. You know, the dog knows what you're feeling, and sometimes when you're down, the dog would just come to you and heal you somehow. In the same way, now you're getting exposed to someone who has dragon. Now, of course, you have heard a lot of good news about the dragon, but now you are coming, trying to relate to a dragon. Yeah. So just like a friend who has the dog, you know, you want to open yourself to the dog, but you know it's a bit scary because you don't know whether the dog will bite or bark at you, and it seems to be barking at you, and the owner keeps saying, "Don't worry, he'll calm down," and after a while, you know, he'll be very friendly with you. And the same way, the dragon's the same. It might be, you might feel that kind of you know, fear, and because we don't know how the dragon will react to you. So I'm here to tell you that these are very loving beings, and they are also, you know, there's a way of connecting to them. Yeah, you just need to know one thing is the dragons feels exactly what you feel. If you feel fear, the dragon will feel fear. If you feel anxious, the dragon will feel anxious. If you feel peace, dragon will feel peace. They are very sensitive. Yeah. So if you want to have more connection to these beings, you need to recognize yourself as first as divine, and also unconditional love. You have no other intention. Your intention is just to love. Your intention is just peace and love, right? So, and that's what they are comfortable with. They are very comfortable with peace and love, unconditional love. Yeah, no condition to it. So when we resonate in this kind of frequencies, they would, that's part of them. Yeah, and their missions are all, I mean, those divine ones are largely to take part in the unfoldment of love, light, and peace. Actually, yeah, and they enjoy happiness. They enjoy simplicity. They enjoy purity very much. Yeah, that's why children. There's actually a lady in Borneo, so you know, there's one girl who really can connect to the dragon, and the dragons connect to her actually. Yeah? And she's I think in her 20s, or and she also resonates incredible amount of divinity and God consciousness and love and purity, and that dragon is very happy with them, almost like a, you know, like a playmate. You know, it's just like how a kid is having a dog and they're having so much fun together and they love each other so much. The same way, this dragon and this girl. So these are all very much real, and you can actually connect to them in that way. You know? Approach them in a very peaceful and pure way. Yes, I hope that answers you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. Wow, thank you so much for the light code. Wow. Now, I'm not surprised if you start speaking their language, you know, because they have beautiful language, and this language are all codes also. When they speak, you know, you can actually just one verse, you can download so much information inside. Yeah, so
I believe that I already speak their language, but more on unconscious level, because there is something in me that maybe connect, not content, not is fear. Something somewhere on some kind of level, my unconsciousness level is there is some kind of fear, but I truly believe that I already speak their language.
yes, I believe you do too.
Ilahamata koyo. Tihyakat ayanana hale kiro homaramate. Drama vahatro kotarayane. trahatakaraya na drumma mahakia arodata roka eva aita anne ika at alariano helakatayo. Namaste.
Thank you, thank you. I feel them, I feel their presence, their energy. It's incredible. Thank you. All right. Now, you guys are hearing it now. Okay, these are all signs. Okay, these are all omens. You can consider these omens. That means the sound of the dragon, the energy, the prana of the dragon is already in our space. And if you were to, maybe a lot of you will even start recognizing that the dragon have been coming towards you. Have been, yeah, you can see it around, and all of a sudden you start seeing that certain things in your house is already showing signs of the dragon. Yeah. The other day it was so funny because my son was drinking from this bottle cup, and he has this bottle cup for the longest time. Yeah? And there is a dome on top of the cup, and right inside is the dragon. So it's like a dragon in an aquarium. You know, the signs are there, and they manifest. They show themselves in the most perfect timing. The timing that we are open to it, and all of a sudden they manifest. So their level of communication and telepathy, it's very, very high. For those who like to learn telepathy, learn it from the dragons, because they are telepathy experts. And their telepathic abilities, their range is very wide. It's range even from the cosmos. From the cosmos, it can telepathy directly to you. So that distance is very far. So they have this kind of ability of telepathy, and it's amazing to learn it from them, this thing. Okay. All right. Any other sharings or comments or questions?
It just reminds me of my favorite film, The Avatar.
Yes, I love that movie. That movie is so well done in showing our power, the power of our mind. See, if you those who have not watched it, I would encourage you all to watch it, because it shows that that person has a machine which came from the government that helped them to connect to the etheric world in a very lucid and very real manner. And this guy entered into that etheric space so much that after a while he doesn't know which one is real. Is this the etheric realm which is real, or the physical realm which is real? And it is true. It happens sometimes for me also. I don't know which one is real, but but of course that's not a permanent thing. It's just for a while, just a few minutes, and after a while you're back into your third dimensional because it's willed by God in such a way that we need to finish certain tasks we have on the third dimension. So these are all available for us now. This space is available for us, and always I would advise that everyone should be totally grounded while you experience this space, because when you're grounded, you are able to draw in the energy. Draw in the energy. Anyone else?
Sairam, Brother Julius.
Yes, Sairam.
I have a question. You mentioned that the frequency we resonate with affects the dragon that's with us. Does it also work the other way around? If the dragon is sort of around us, does the presence change our frequency that we resonate with?
Yes, definitely, it does change the frequency, but again, they would not do it unless we are ready or there is an absolute necessity for us to have a shift of energy at that point in time due to certain reasons, maybe that environment we need to get out of, and all of a sudden they show their presence so that we can raise ourselves. But if you were to I mean, they will not enter to your space unless it is, you know, absolutely necessary. And if now that we are exposed to them, there is a possibility that, you know, we can also invoke them and to start having some kind of experiences with them. Um, yes, I hope that I answered you that question.
Sairam, thank you.
All right. Do you want to have more experiences?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
please. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, great. Okay, I would introduce you to these two dragons. Okay, these two dragons is very aware of our entire monad. Again, this is the green and the white dragon. Okay, and these two dragons is even aware of us talking about them right now. They are really incredible. Yeah. They are very aware of the position we are in right now and our role to play, and they are very excited to be part of us as Monad. It's good for you all to experience them at the moment as Monad first. If you were to open up yourself, you can actually start feeling them. Yeah, you can start feeling how they are, and you can, if you are inspired, you can even start drawing them if you like. You can draw how they look like and what they are doing, and visuals are very their way of communication. Visuals, okay. So if you to start drawing them, you can even say, you know, please allow me to draw something about you. Okay, if you can ask like that, and you draw, you might be surprised what comes out on your paper. Yeah? And you can even communicate with them. You can ask them like, how are you? And then you wait and relax and use your feelings more, and you might start, you know, hearing it. Yeah. And when you hear it, don't doubt. Don't say, oh, maybe this is my imagination. Maybe don't do that. Okay. What you do is you can write down your question, and the answer that comes immediately you write it down, and you go for the next question, and the answer comes immediately write it down. Don't think, don't analyze, and the next question, and then you can even give comments and see. Sometimes they don't need questions. Even your comment, they can start adding up, you know, start expanding on whatever you have mentioned, because they have connection with the Akasha records. Okay, dragons are also there in the Akasha records, and they can extract anything, you know. So you can ask them anything, and they can draw it from there, and you know, it's all one. And at the end of the day, you know, this Akasha records is just in space for us. Yeah, these are all available to all who are sensitive to this etheric space, and do it. You know, start your communication with them. Uh, and of course, while doing that, you have to remember who you are. You are divine being, you are consciousness, you are, I am that I am consciousness, I am divine, I am God. This is very important because they don't deal much with unconscious. They try not to deal much with unconscious. Unconscious is like not uh, their job. Okay, so their job is actually to be more, connecting to love and their larger mission. Their larger mission is largely that. So if you were to affirm and be one with your God self and I am self, they are absolutely comfortable with that because they also do that. Yeah, they also go into I am consciousness. Yeah, they are very good in that. Once they gather together and they go into meditation and stillness and silence, their I am consciousness is like the roar of the lion. Yeah? Very strong, very powerful resonance when they come together. So once they gather and do this, no one dares to go near. I mean, in terms of unconscious and those other beings, they dare not come near because they're raw. I think you all guys have also heard about some part in China where people are hearing this raw and they are freaking out, and some of them, they are connecting to and they know that this is coming from the dragons, and there's also reports that the second day there is earthquake that happened in the same place. Yeah, so this kind of manifestation is happening more and more around the earth. But of course, they won't come to destroy or anything. At this point in time, it's all about love and peace and expansion of consciousness, which they want to be part of this unfoldment. Yeah? Great. Anyone else like to share and ask? Or
Yes, Sairam, Brother Julius. Yeah, we were there. We were there in Kuching when we heard about the chasing of the dragon. That was after the visit of Swami. But I also understand there is a golden dragon at the Chandabaik area from Grandma Chris, who saw this golden dragon and is still residing there. Have you seen or felt it there?
Okay, the golden dragon, I didn't have a direct experience of the dragon, but I'm not surprised if it's there because Chandabaik, there is a lot of divine beings there. It's not surprising there's a golden dragon. And thanks for reminding me. I was just reminded of the first time who mentioned about the dragons is actually the ones in Borneo. Is actually Irene Watson. Irene Watson herself. I was with her at this ashram before it was built, and she mentioned that these dragons are there, and that's the first time we came to know about it. That happened, Henry, when did that happen? I think that was about 5 years ago. And also the next person who actually told about the presence of the dragon and explained in great details about it was actually Isaac Tigert. Isaac Tigert himself, when he came, he saw the dragons and he told about the dragons' presence and what their role is, how they're circulating around, and he was kind of advising us along the way. Yeah? And finally, Swami came through Madhusudan and came through and addressed about these dragons. Yeah? So there are more and more people who are able to see these dragons, and this two dragon is very, very happy to be involved in Swami's mission. They are very well versed with what Swami has come to do. I remember the first time I communicated with them, they were telling me what Swami is doing on earth. Those are dimensions which I myself have no idea what it was until the dragon spoke. They told that Swami have come to establish this universal consciousness and to connect to the other beings all around. And I believe that this download and verbalization of the message was recorded somewhere. I think maybe, I don't know, Henry have it, or someone, some few of us are having it, because once these messages comes, you know, the next thing you do, you look on the floor, you see all the phones coming with a recorder. So some of them have been transcribed and some is just left in audio. Yeah? So I'm very happy that I'm able to share all this information with all of you now, all the more in this significant time of the new Mayan calendar. And I think all of us are energetically ready to handle all this kind of information and exposure. I pray that we are able to connect more and to be able to see our the potentials that is that has been given for us, yeah? for us, for our elevation of our higher consciousness. Anyone else?
Hi, Julius. It's Jan here. When you said about connecting with the dragons, before that, I'd actually been on my computer and listening to the whole story at that time. And then I came in to sit down with a rug over me because it's cold here in Oz. And I started to just internalize and sort of like speak, and I could feel some energy and so on. And then I've been speaking language since 96, I think it is, and had various voices speaking through me. And then all of a sudden, this Chinesey or Asian sounding voice began really, really, really speaking. It went on for quite a while. It was very interesting. So unfortunately, I don't get told what is being said, but I actually believe that that voice was actually doing some sort of communication with the dragons. I imagine that's what it was doing.
Yes. There are also dragons in temples, which you know, there's some medium who communicate with these dragons, and you know, some people who are having problems, and they would ask the dragons on their advices and all. This is quite common in the Chinese temples, especially. So this it is true. Yeah, there's some of them. They are just there to help and in every way, because. And the Chinese temples, if you notice, a lot of them, if you look on top, there are signs of dragons' presence. Yes, so this kind of communication has been going on, but now it's available more and more to everyone who's open to it, because we have kind of reached that level of ability and purity where we can actually have access to this. Yes, great. Thanks for sharing that.
It's a real pleasure. Thank you. I've just been loving it. Absolutely loving it. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much, Julius.
Thank you. Okay. Yes.
I want to say something else, if it's possible.
Yes,
I have
please.
to thank you very much to you and your dragons, because I believe because you and they are holding space for us and make us make to us easier to connect with them. I believe, not I believe, I know that first connection with my dragons happened just now, and it was very, very emotional. I'm a person who experienced many things first through energy, and I felt his energy, dragon's energy, and it's very, very gentle, it's very lovingly, so power and protective, as you said. And I feel somehow that they provide us with guidance, and I'm very, very happy for experience that, thanks to you and your dragons, Saram.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you can connect to this space and energy, because that's what it is. This space and energy. It's really good. I mean, I'm so happy that that you are open to this, and now you are able to feel it, and this is also the sign of the monad speaking. Yeah? The monad is actually responding to the dragons, because your joy and your happiness and your space and your feeling of this awe, and it's pretty them actually. Yeah, this feeling that you're having is very much them. And yes, it's so incredible. Their energy is really divine. Yeah, really divine. Thank you for sharing that.
Julius?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
that sister mentioned about the dragon. I can feel that energy presence. Yeah. When she speak in the words, I can feel the dragon energy is in our monad here, right? There is another lady you still remember from the US, Grandma
Yes, I remember.
Ji. Yeah. I remember before our ashram is built, I brought Grandma Ji to that place. Grandma Ji just chanting a few mantra. Then he said, the dragons are on the sky. Then he mentioned when ashram completed, there will be 8 dragons coming. Then so far, Grandma Ji not yet come again. So there will be some connections against our monad here with this dragon. Yeah, especially like LC mentioned about that. Another one is gender bite rights. Yeah, I think most of the Chinese temple, if you observe it in the pillars, there will be a dragon. Something like it's a very strong guide, but I see this dragon in this space have the awareness. It can awaken us as human also. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Yes. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, it's true. There will be more dragons coming. Okay, since all of you are together in this already, I would like to share more about the dragon's life now. Okay, since it involves us, I think it's great that we can be conscious of this unfoldment happening now. Okay, so now there is a white and green dragon, and there's one more black dragon. Okay, this black dragon is related to these two, and this black dragon is somehow a bit on the naughty side. Okay, so it's a bit on the wild side. So of course, since I'm connected to these two dragons, I also somehow one day stumbled upon the black dragon. And this other friend of mine who was riding with me, he also got experience with the black dragon. Okay, this black dragon is really, it's wild, it's crazy. Yeah, this and we somehow managed to um, to ride it for a while, just for a while. It was just like half an hour, and that was enough experience for us. And I think this experience is very valuable because we need to know how he is. He is the nature of him, and just as it applies for everything, everyone is on the process of evolution, of perfecting themselves. This black dragon is doing the same. Is also evolving, and is also going to reach a point where he's going to be at peace and at oneness with the rest of the dragons. But at this point in time, he's just a bit wild. So we have this black dragon in radar, and now as Sister Elsie Wong was saying about the golden dragon. I've just met Datuk Yo a few days back, and it's irony because I was just speaking to him, and I said I have to conduct this session. And I was with him at 3:59, and 4 o'clock was the session, and he was very happy with I told him that we're gonna do this together, so he's fully aware of what we are doing, and he's gonna be more active with us very soon. Okay, now also there's a blue dragon which has come. This blue dragon have given me the entire documentation. Is on my Facebook page. If you scroll down, you will see a blue dragon there, and you'll see the blue dragon speaking. All that messages was actually spoken by the blue dragon. So we have 4 right now, and and 4 is not 4. 4 is like 10, because energetically, when it's combined, it resonates, and there will be more joining us. So these are part of like a larger synchronicity, which if you would backtrack, there's a grandma who came and informed this, and Irene Watson who came and said about it, and Isaac Tigert. And so all this is, if you to compile it, you'll be surprised, because this is actually an entire story that is coming up. So I hope someone is able to document all of this, because it will be a great unfoldment where these dragons will actually play a very active part in our future, our life in the 5th dimension, and also 7th dimension and the 11th dimension. So 5th, 7 is definitely they are present. Yeah. So the more we are able to know their presence, the more we are able to play our part. Yeah, play our part is this unfoldment, because we are. I would even consider them as part of our monad already. Yeah, this is part of our monad, their presence. Yeah. And I'm really grateful to Swami for allowing this, because the presence of an etheric being, as etheric creature like this, it adds on incredible potentials to the monad. The crafts are already, you can see how powerful the crafts are, that they're so involved in our ascension process. Same way, the dragons, they play a very active part in our ascension. Thank you for sharing that.
Can I share now?
Yes, please.
I want to share how children can learn from animated films, and they at night travel astrally and experience those they learned in films. And there is a film, How to Tame Your Dragon, also, and this is a film about dragons, and children actually learn from films. And I want to mention that every Chinese New Year, in Swami's ashram were made a dragon, and it seems to me like an invocation to dragons. And I suppose they would then gather there and enjoy in these celebrations.
Yes. Thanks for reminding again. See, we are speaking as monad. I'm telling you, this is really unfolding. You are giving me to the next step of my topic. Okay. Children. Yes, children. They are very open to this. If you observe the things they play, a lot of times they would involve dinosaurs and dragons, and they'll talk about it. And for your information, okay, since we are all progressing together, I'd like to share with you my personal experience even before. When Swami passed away, I knew that I need to get married, and I need to just do it for Swami. And when I opened myself to that possibility, I already saw the being that's coming to me as a son. And we have already started communicating even before conception, and a lot of information have been downloaded, and we have been exchanging information. Yeah? And one of the information that came to me was that this boy that is coming to me is going to be from the dragons. I did not think much about it and just knew it as, you know, the energy of the dragon, and I didn't really bother much about that information until we got engaged in August, and we got registered on 11 of November 2011, which is 11/11/11. That's our engagement date. My wife, and then my son was born on 12th of December 2012. So it's actually 12/12/12. And if we were to look at the signs of that year for Chinese calendar, is actually the year of the dragon. So when my son came, he was totally, I could feel the energies of a divine being. And on December 21st, 2012, which is the Mayan calendar supposedly ends, as the galactic calendar ends, he was meditating. He was only a few days old, 19, maybe 9 days to be exact. He was just, with my support, he was just sitting and meditating and connecting. I could feel that so much of this incredible energy coming through him, just to play a part in the energetic unfoldment. And you know, at that time, if you guys were to follow at 2012, December 21st, there is a mass meditation that happened, a global meditation, and he was part of it. So this unfoldment of the dragon's energy was somehow pegged to my reality. And it's true, yeah, especially autistic children. You gotta watch out for them. These autistic children, a lot of them, they are connected to the higher consciousness. So it's just a matter of time before they could just, download direct information from the etheric beings. Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else like to share?
I don't know, Julius, if you already mentioned that today in the Mayan calendar is the day of the self-existing dragon.
I'm waiting for you, Sister Christina. I know that you studied very deeply into the Mayan calendar, and I was getting hints that you will be sharing with us about the Mayan calendar. Please tell us what you know about today.
I can say the energy of this day today is the self-existing red dragon. It is the kin 121. And the energy is, I define, in order to nurture, this is the sign of the dragon, is nurturing, measuring being. I seal the input of birth with the self-existing tone of form. I'm guided by the power of navigation, and this is the red earth. And the wave is the wave of the white mirror, which stays for endlessness, for reflection and order. This is what I can say for today. So this year started with the storm, with the blue storm, which I said already a few days ago, and I can repeat. The energy of the self-existing storm is the blue, the blue lunar storm is I polarize in order to catalyze. The catalyze is for the storm. Stabilizing energy. I seal the matrix of self-generation with the lunar tone of challenge. I am guided by the power of magic. This is really very great. So we hope we can look forward for magic times. And this energy is for the whole year, which started on the 26th of July till the 25th of July next year. Okay?
Wow. Now, Monet, brothers and sisters, are we synchronized or not? This is a direct, okay? I have no idea what the Mayan calendar was saying, but I know that we are very aligned to the unfoldment.
Yes.
Yes. And it's incredible. That thank you so much for sharing this. This is exactly what I felt. Great mysticism is opening to us right now, and this energy have incredible potentials. We are all opening ourselves to this possibility, and this possibility will continue for quite a number of months. Now it's a year, right? A year until July next year, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
So I want to explain that somebody said to me on Facebook, but the Mayan calendar is already finished in 2012. I said, no, this only somebody can say who never studied the calendar, because this calendar works in waves. So there was a cycle was finished, and it started on the 21st of December in 2012, or the day after, I don't remember now, started a new cycle, and this calendar never finishes. And the importance of that it starts on the 26th of July is because there is a very special planetary constellation on this day. And that's why the Mayan decided that this is the first day of the calendar. And I was in this movement for change of the calendar. When I lived in Rome, Aquarius, he came to Rome, and he even went to the Pope and asking him to change the Gregorian calendar. And the Pope said no, because the Mayan calendar has no harmony inside, because every month has different days, 28, 29, 30, or 31. And this brings so much confusion. This missing harmony, this is what Arguelles said, can even guide to wars. And his calendar, his dream spell calendar, is all harmony. And when you harmonize and you look every day, what is the energy today, then you can regulate your life on this, and you can use this energy to help you for fulfilling more successfully your prospects or projects in life.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I wanted to ask you something I have not understood well. This fact of the monad. You said you are the monad, or we are the monad. Could you please shortly explain what it really meant?
Okay, monad is a group of people or souls who are traveling along the same path for a long, for considerable amount of progress and ascension. Once you are together in a group while you crossing dimensions, and you're getting a lot of downloads and experiences as one, you start forming the monad and you're becoming energetically one.
Okay, fine.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. I'm very happy that, we have someone with us who are very connected to the Mayan calendar. And I know that, Christina, you will be playing a very important role in this unfoldment, because the Mayan calendar is actually one of the very powerful indicators of our progress. Yeah? And if we are able to constantly be connected to the calendar in a way that, you know, it is sort of like a check and balance, to be able to see if we are on the right track, please, you know, I think we can work together and more in this way where a lot of us are able to be more, progress more in consciousness. Thank you.
Yeah, if you want, I can offer to send every day the energy in the morning of the day, because there is like a picture, no? I can send this. So now you tell me how I can send this, if I should send to you or to Shulan, so that you can post this in the group.
Okay, sure. You can send it to me first, and then because there are certain energies which I need to check with that correlates the whole thing. Please send it, and once we get that pass on the green light, we'll send it to the group.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Brother Julius?
Yes.
Following Christine's statement, I think it's not similar. I mean, it's similar to the I Ching, where you don't have a set date and every day, you know, has a different energy. The I Ching and also the Hindu, I mean, I'm sure they also have that. So it's a good way of check and balance.
Yes, yes. Which one you talking about, Shinru?
The I Ching.
Ah, I Ching.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
there
I
are
Ching.
many indicators. Yeah, many indicators are there. So let's check it and see. You know, I will just need to check with Swami also, because sometimes Swami might just give us a detour all of a sudden, and we will. Of course, he has his own reason for doing that. We just need to be aligned with his program. Yes, Raj Jigre, you have your mic is unmuted. Did you want to share something? Okay, no.
Sorry, it was accidentally that, but thank you. That was beautiful talk by you and the lady. We enjoyed every day. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, all right. I'd like to just answer one of the questions over here. Our society doesn't understand what autism is. Okay, autism, right? Many people think that, you know, autistic is a sickness and it is something maybe inferior or, you know, slow, and you know, they have their own interpretation of it. I would say that largely is influenced by certain forces which trying to corner them. Autism is not what you think it is. Autism is actually a high level of universal connectedness. They are here with a certain frequency, and is by nature how they get protected from the so-called society that we have, and they connect in their own way. Okay, so these autistic children, many of them are kind of ready to manifest their potentials. It's just a matter of us coming to understand them, and to be able to get the kind of expertise which could guide them. I could see that there are already a lot of work being done. These are all undercurrents. These are underground works which is really happening, where a lot of help and light is coming towards them. Yeah. So it's a matter of time before you will see that there's a number, large numbers of autistic children all of a sudden flourishing and becoming very successful people with very high intelligence. And if you were to see even a lot of those children, who's this, the one who spoke about the global warming and stood up against this global warming, and she went to the UN to speak about it and raised a lot of strikes and Demonstration. These are all, they're actually autistic children. Yeah, Gita, Greta, that's right. She is very much so-called autistic. But if autism can reach that kind of level of success where they deliver so clear the messages that we all need to wake up and not be a slave anymore to this industrial revolution, and to come out of it and to really live our life and connection to the earth, the pulse of the earth. Yeah, these are not ordinary children, if you can see. Yeah, she's only 16, 17 years old. So even younger than that, I think, Rita the Great. So yes, you will see more and more of these children coming up and speaking. Yeah. Okay, now we are almost towards the end of the program. Anyone else like to share?
Yes, Julius, these two dragons which are saying that you have seen, which is shown in the screen. Can I ask?
This screen is by Brother Chulan. He has his own experiences with the dragons as well, because he has been there. Brother Chulan, you like to share something about the dragons when you were there with me?
Can I ask the question why these two dragons are being like this? One is so strong and other is somewhat older. Is there any significance of them?
Are you talking about this picture or what you feel in general?
This picture, but when you're talking about dragons and the children, I'm feeling that the children are being protected. I don't know the exact thing, but that is the feeling which I got. I am asking about this picture, and is there any significance of them being like this?
Okay, if that's what you feel, that the dragons is protecting the children, well, I'm telling you that this is absolutely 100% true, because they are the one who showed me that these children are in danger. Yeah, so I have no idea it was so important until that night where the dragons themselves showed me, and it was highlighted.
Yes, I am listening to the musicals, and I'm feeling that their depth and their pain, and they being I don't know. That's what I'm feeling.
Okay, then maybe you are connecting to Adi Parashakti, which was exactly what she was feeling, the pain of the children, and she was crying at that time when she was lifting them up, because I was a witness to that, and I have to calm her down at that time because she was going over time trying to save the children, and I kept telling her, enough, it has already, because I can see that she's using a lot of the energies and to raise them up. Maybe you are just feeling some of those emotions.
Is this the yesterday morning or day before yesterday? That is when I felt exactly like that.
It happened on the first day of the Mayan calendar, which was on 26.
26. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Saram.
Yes, of course, we being timeless now, we are actually in a timeless state where energies are just flowing as it is. And sometimes when we are open to the motherly side of the universe, we can connect to the pains of the mother and also the joy of the mother. Yeah? So for you to receive it later is not a coincidence at all.
Yes, it is on 26th morning when I am listening to the kids. Yes, I felt their pain and I was crying too. And I was praying a lot so that everything will be all right. That is what my feeling. And Sairam.
Sairam, yes.
Can I share a story?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Can I share a story?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, you did say talk about autistic people. in my care home, I've got a couple of people who are autistic, and their energy is different. There is, and I had a lady, I had a Down syndrome lady, and one day I had a visitor came to our home, and she saw this this client of mine. She was sitting on her wheelchair, but she saw with her eye, she was sending healing to everybody in the room. Everybody in the room was receiving healing from this client. Yeah. So these people have some special energy. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, definitely they do. Yeah, definitely they do. Because I have some friends who have autistic children, and when the first time I see them, I know their frequency. Their frequency is really incredible. Their frequency actually hold the entire family. And if you notice those families with autistic children, they are somehow their energies are very stable, very peaceful, and they are all very focused on how the autistic child is, and they're very sensitive to the autistic child, and the autistic child also very sensitive to all of them. Yeah, even before they can say anything, you know, the autistic child is already speaking on their behalf. So their experiences are all very, you know, very highly energetic experiences. They can do a lot of energetic work. Yes, thanks for sharing that.
I also read a book about an autistic child, and the mother eventually discovered that he could communicate really well through the computer, and that he was telepathic with other autistic children.
Yeah, correct. They are somehow connected to many other who are similar to them, and their group consciousness is very high. They connect, and it's also at a longer range. They are able to connect, and even some of the autistic child, if they're going through something, the other would feel. So if we are able to bring more awareness into this, we will discover a lot of things about how energetics and you know, telepathy and you know, these frequencies. There's so much we can learn from them.
This is a bit off the subject, but in England, we've got a whole load of new crop circles that have appeared all over the place. I don't know if do you know anything about those?
Yes, I know about the crop circles. Some are real, some are just not real, but there's a lot of real ones. These are all resonance coming from the cosmos, somehow captured in the crops. They're projected as, you know, many shapes, many symbols that radiate the information to us. Yes, we are aware. We also have some people in this Zoom chat who knows people directly, have been studying about these crop circles, have gone into close encounters, you know, they have gone to the site of the crop circles to study the cuttings and all. Yeah, so a lot of informations are there.
Yes.
Yes, I've done the same with quite a long time ago, but they seem to be just happening recently, much more, and near where I am too. Here.
Okay, if you have some info, you can send to me privately, and maybe if I can study them more, if it's aligned with our indication to our extension, I can share it with the group.
Lately, there are nearly every day or every second day these crop circles, and I posted them all on my Facebook. And I post pictures, but there are even wonderful films, videos. I mean, you can see they are all fascinating and have a wonderful energy. So this is now since 4 weeks nearly. Very, very many. I was once in Germany in one crop circle near Munich. I happened to be there and I could feel the wonderful energy inside because we could go inside. Now it is very difficult. Now the farmers in UK don't allow to go inside.
Wow, great, great. I see that our Monet is opening more to these energies now. These energies are coming to us. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, anyone else?
Hi, Julius, it's Jan again. I was just going to share, I have a friend, she's quite a younger friend, I think she's about 45, and she has 3 children, and 2 of them were born by IVF, in vitro fertilization. And one of those, the oldest one, is fine. She's a normal child. And the other 2 younger children, one is in vitro and the other is normal birth. But both of those children are autistic and have many other syndromes and problems. And also the other thing about this is that my friend tried so many different alternative complementary types of ways of helping them, plus sort of the medical, of course, but she has tried so many things and they respond to a number of complementary things rather positively. But then my friend, somebody said to her, look, perhaps you should get yourself checked out as well. And she did, and she found that she too was diagnosed as autistic. So I find that quite an interesting story about how that goes, how that works out. But at the same time, I think you said that people with autistic children were calm. My friend has had the most difficult time. She is on her own. She's only a single mother, and she has the support of her own mother. That grandmother is fantastic. But she's had a really difficult time with those 2 children, and especially the youngest one, which was a natural birth. So she has been fraught, almost on the edge of nervous breakdown. She's had very many problems herself physically. And yes, such a journey, such an incarnation they all chose. Yeah.
Okay,
so, yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about. Please private message me and tell me the name, because I know that there are some people who were adopted already, these autistic children, and used for higher, for passage out. Please message me privately the name of that person, because I suspect I know them.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Julius.
I'm a bit surprised that you say these children were born autistic. To my knowledge, autism happens after children get vaccinated.
There are different types. There are types which, yes, it's true. After vaccination, something happens also. It could be also an activation. The vaccination could have activated a certain part of them, and there are those who suppresses them. Yes, we will study that separately. We have actually now, Swami, have arranged quite a number of people who are doing active studies in this, including schools, setting up of schools to house all of these people. Yes. Okay, right. See, look at the dragons. Dragons are on a mission. If you can see, we are talking about them, and they are showing us about autistic children. I think they want us to pay more attention on the autistic children, and this message should go out in this way so that you gain more awareness about them. And I would like to tell you again, the dragons, they are not creatures that stop doing something or rest. When they rest, it's really rest. They don't really come out. Even when they are resting, they are resonating something incredible energy. Yeah? So I believe that this information is the light has come down from the dragons to let us pay more attention on this autistic children. Please open yourself to it if you can. Let's go, shine more light on them so that, because I saw one of the things which really sad was this autistic children, right? You know how they capture them? They put them into a place, and after that, they do something really, horrible, is that they start confusing the parents. They make the parents go through dark experiences where, they get into fights with their spouse, and after a while they suspect each other, and after a while their life get, they get so confused, and they finally decide that even this child they want to let go, and just disown them and go somewhere else, and leave these children alone, and these children, when they have no parents coming for them, and after a while they just disregard it, and this is the time when they are made use of to reach out to another dimension by these beings. So it's a very sad state of affair. But if all of us could shine more light on this, the parents would not be so confused, and there would be more light. Yeah, the light is very real, actually. If there's light, there's no darkness. When there's darkness, there's no light. So when they are in the dark and they can't see, that's when they start attacking each other. So the more light to shine on the families of these autistic children's families, the better. This is, I think, part of our mission together. Let's pray for them and always send divine light to them.
Where does this happen, that they take these children away from the parents? I haven't heard this yet. First time I'm hearing this.
You see, there are a lot of schools, I mean, even homes where they house autistic children. And this is just some parents, they feel that they couldn't handle these autistic children, and they put them into a home. So these homes are the ones which, after a while, the parents feel more and more distance, because, these homes take only those who are not capable of handling these children. So these parents, even though they are maybe making more money, but they are trying not to be too close to them, because otherwise the home will find out that they can take care of them and ask them to go home. This whole drama is there. Yes, if you were to look at some of the autistic homes, you would see that these are the scenarios where the parents, after a while, kind of dump them there, and they don't come back after a few years. Yeah. So I'm talking about those who have already been put to a home.
Yes, in our place also there is one home like that. All the autistic children were kept in there, and whatever you're saying is happening.
You said they put them in tunnels under the earth?
No. They put them into a home. But energetically, they keep them in a dark space.
And what is the reason for this?
So that they don't get to radiate their light so much, and is able to contain them more. Because once they radiate their light, they are protected.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes, and incredible work have been happening since the first day of the Mayan calendar, and I think that this will roll out to be a very big thing. Yeah, we will roll out to be a very big revolution. Okay,
But this has nothing to do with this trafficking of children, no? This is quite a different thing, no?
Well, actually, it's kind of similar. There are those children who have been caught. Usually, they have some kind of high resonance, and this kind of high resonance can be detected. You can have some measures, and I know of a family who are running away from all these people since year 2000, and I've seen the child's ability to manifest. Ability, and this family is very close to Swami in Puttaparthi, and her child was in Swami's school. Swami himself has told about this child, and this child was I mean, the parents would literally have to hide her, but now we have come to a time where all these children are really coming up. Yeah? They are in safe space, and they are playing their part in this unfoldment. So yeah, let's do it as Monad. Yes, rise our divine energy and share this divine energy with the children, and let these children be elevated from suffering and be able to hold their highest potential. Sister Rama Devi, you have
yes, I am wishing what you are saying right now to happen. That's it.
Okay, great. All right, we are at the end of the program right now. Let's do the same, and let's involve the great dragons as part of our family, part of our Monad. And because I feel that the dragons are very much keen on this. That's why we are talking about the children right now in their session. So thank you so much, beautiful dragons, for coming into our space and sharing with us what you are seeing. I totally appreciate of your presence, and thank you, all of you. Om Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Julius. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Julius, and thanks to all. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you, Julius. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother.